Good morning and welcome to this week's MedCom Benefit Solutions desktop discussions. My name is Casey Hope. I'm the marketing manager at MedCom Benefit Solutions, and I'm joined today, as always, by our senior legal counsel, Michelle Barkey. Michelle, good morning.
Good morning, Casey.
Excellent. Well, thank you for joining us again today. We have a few questions to go through this morning. So if you are ready, Michelle, I will go ahead and get started.
Let's go ahead and get started.
Excellent. Our first question, given the changes with COBRA recently, how does that impact FSA and the changes that are now allowed under it? Normally, the COBRA participant would have coverage through the end of the FSA plan year. What if the employer has extended the time frame for employees to incur expenses through December 31st of 2020 or extends their grace period through December 31st of 2020? Do the COBRA participants also get this additional period of time to spend their funds? They would have contributed the full amount in order for their coverage to still be active at the end of the normal plan year.
Casey, this is a really good question. And yes, COBRA participants are treated the same as regular participants and cannot be discriminated against. But basically, COBRA, as the individual indicated, COBRA premiums would still be calculated based on the end of the plan year. And those premiums would not be extended to December 31st of 2020, just as they are not extended to normal employees. Their contributions are based on that plan year. So this would be completely consistent with the contributions employees who have not terminated would make. In short, the incurred claim extension is not an extension of the plan year. If they are an active employee or COBRA participant at the end of the plan year and have fully contributed to the FSA, then if the employer wants claims to be incurred up until December 31st of 2020, this is now permitted, but it is at the employer's option. Then it would be for both active participants and for those COBRA participants who had paid the full contribution amount and were active COBRA participants at the end of the plan year. Of course, COBRA participants may lag based on the outbreak, premiums may lag based on the outbreak period that we have now. So this is going to also play in the mix. So they may have to go back and make the adjustments and pay the premiums timely and under the outbreak period in order to get that added consideration. However, COBRA participants who are active when the plan year ends should basically, bottom line, enjoy the same extension as their active counterparts. If the COBRA is not continued to the end of the plan year, then benefits would terminate when the premiums terminate.
Thank you, Michelle. That seemed like kind of a complicated question. Thanks for clearing that up for us. Our second question today, for 1/1 plan years, the enrollment period is typically closed when the plan year maximum increase is announced in November or December. For example, our current 2020 calendar plan year maximum is $2,700, and we could roll the $2,750 increase into 2021. There are several questions here, so I'll start with this one. Can we assume that the $50 will continue, therefore allowing the calendar year plans to increase to $2,800 effective 2021, or is that a risky assumption?
You know, it's been fairly consistent over the years that it's going to go up by that $50, but until the IRS actually announces it, we do not know what that maximum amount is going to be. So there is a bit of a risk to that.
Okay, second part of the question, is the $550 rollover independent of the plan year maximum?
Yes, it is independent of the plan year maximum. Excuse me, the $550 rollover is in effect commencing in January this year, so you're ready to go with it. Next year it will be increased by another 20% of the maximum allowable. Therefore, if the maximum allowable next year is going to be the $2,800, it will be $560, but it is independent of that.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. Part 3 of the question. If our maximum is $2,700, can we increase the rollover to $550, or must we stay at 20% of our plan year maximum?
You may increase the rollover, the carryover, to the $550.
Got it. And the last part of the question, for plans with a lower maximum, say $2,400, must they stay at $500?
Nope, they can also go to the maximum of $550. This was initially set out in Notice 2013-17 when carryovers were first introduced. It stated and repeated in Notice 2020-33 that under the liberalization provided through this Notice 2017, the carryover of up to $500 does not count against, otherwise affect the index of the $2,500 limit. So basically, these are two separate things, and the carryover amount you can have up to the maximum, although you do not have to. An employer could decide not to have a carryover. They could decide to have a carryover of $300, but they are allowed a carryover up to the maximum. Just as they are entitled to the contributions up to the maximum, they cannot go over that $2,750 this year, but they could say we're only going to allow you to contribute $1,500. These are two separate items, and they are not attached, but for the actual indexing at the end.
Thank you, Michelle. Our next question today. Carriers are offering cheaper plans for employers since they can benefit changes during this time. So they can have benefit changes during this time due to COVID-19. The question is if the POP document requires an amendment, if the employer allows participants to add a health plan, switch health plans, or drop a health plan and elect one on their own.
Yes, depending on the way the POP plans are written, if they are specific as to what was previously submitted, and the employer is going to allow these changes, then yes, the POP plan, the VAT plan, and the SPDs will need to be changed. But again, we're cautioning everybody, don't assume that the carriers are going to be offering different plans. It seems in this case that this individual has a carrier that is going to offer a lower cost plan, but we have heard from many of the carriers that they are not going to go along with this special enrollment right. A lot of them gave that special enrollment right back in end of March, early April, and they're not going to go back and repeat it. So just make sure that the carrier is going to go along with this before you go out and make those assumptions.
That makes perfect sense, Michelle. Thank you so much. That is all of the questions that we have today. So a very short desktop discussion. As always, I will send out a completed list of the questions and answers to attendees today. Also, for anyone who may be on our mailing list for the desktop discussions, we'll get these questions and answers and a link to the recording of the session. Our questions, our COVID-19 questions at medcombenefits.com is still available. If you continue to have questions about changing legislations, how this affects your employers, your clients, please submit those questions to COVID-19 questions at medcombenefits.com. We will let you know that we have received that and when we will be addressing it on the desktop discussions. Michelle, unless you have anything else to offer or anything else to put out there, then I think this wraps us up today.
Thank you, Casey, for your support. And yes, I think we're done for today.
Excellent. Thank you all so much and have a wonderful day.